Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you might find yourself today in this tactical village that we call the world. For us, your global advances logistic group staff in the world's most colorful zones, the Middle East, South Africa, and South America, it's always 0-30. Part of the propagation of our mission in country that we do is usually classes reference kidnap and ransom and anti and counter kidnapping abduction training. We were interviewed recently by a local newspaper that had international platform and readers reference our efforts to stave the amounts of kidnapping, not only in South Africa, not only in Central Africa or in the Middle East or in South America. And when we're interviewed, we're going to share with you what we actually end up talking about in the interview session. It was actually very well done by a very, very professional young lady. In this interview that we had, we propagated reference kidnapping is usually motivated from either political or ideological aims or by criminal gangs for pure financial gain. Kidnap prevention is no longer a luxury service. It is an increasingly necessary precaution. Whether conventional kidnapping, our risk assessment reduction strategies support our international clients, media, and NGOs operating within the concept of the world's most colorful zones. Within the broader context of political unrest and the high rate of violent crime in South Africa and South America and also in the Middle East and also in North America as well, as we kind of see today, reference COVID and all the incidents that are happening worldwide. So it's not just Africa, it's the whole world as a conduit. Kidnapping for ransom has been fairly widespread in other African countries and terrorism hotspots internationally as well, forcing business travelers to take extra precautions when visiting high-risk territories. Most recently in Nigeria, where a new Boko Haram fashion actually raised its ugly head, it started sharing a strategy to induce fear and terror in its surrounding communities by kidnapping. It also appears that South Africa is now also on the radar for kidnapping and anti-kidnapping training and ransom of the like. Recently, the police ministry in South Africa has made high-profile statements about syndicates that follow high net worth individuals, including foreign businessmen, from the main international airports in the country and then rob them at gunpoint as they enter the residence or their hotel or wherever it might have you be there. This has given rise to an increase in the deployment of South Africans' military police, reference curbing these acts, and they've been very successful across that front. We, as a leading protective and risk consultancy program, which is Global Advanced Logistic Group, we've come to the concept that the reality is that businesses have to increasingly be vigilant. Because of our footprint, our global footprint, not just only in Africa, but also in the worldwide world as well, we're actually considered subject matter experts on this field. It's imperative for business to take risk seriously. That's the most important concept of the message that I'm trying to give to you today. The need to conduct thorough due diligence before they send their staff traveling is also a prerogative. It has been mandatory for business and NGOs who seek professional advice and services when they travel to the world's most colorful zones to bring us on in as a third-party entity to actually propagate that training. The key is for employers to ensure that both they and their employees are educated in the risk and potential risk, and that these risks are mitigated as much as possible by entities such as ours. Should travelers find themselves in a potentially dangerous situation, they'll be prepared to handle all the consequences that come with that engagement. We've also postulated Global Advanced Group's 7-day hostile awareness training sessions, which combines this training into what we present to the NGOs in our risk and threat and risk analysis programs that we currently do offer. We continue to draw from our experience from just not only from the military, but from the police and specialized units, and of course our South African intel analysts as well. What we try to do, cadre tries to offer these conjugated training sessions that are literally life-saving. Local knowledge is invaluable in planning routes and areas to visit, and for that we are your global footprint to give you that local knowledge on the continent and the world's most colorful places. If I should stress, the obligation of businesses have is something that cannot be thought about lightly. They have to ensure the safety of their staff and also do risk mitigation services as well. We, as the subject matter experts in this field, not only offer training and consulting, because we are extensively doing continued research on this as far as deploying assets throughout the Middle East, South Africa, and South America to populate these sort of incidents. We're going to include this information on the podcast on the written side, so not only can you hear us actually propagate this right now, so we're not being just pernicious in sense, but we're actually going to publish this so you can actually see what we spoke about on that day. We're going to be bringing you more information reference this and more information reference our 7-day hostile awareness training sessions, for which we currently have hostile environment awareness training sessions where we copulate both males and females, but we also have a separate sessions where we only do females, and it's usually instructed of the cadre from in-country female close protection operatives who do risk and threat assessments on that specific country in that region. So they have more of a one-to-one cadre rationale, reference sharing, reference experiences on that platform. We're going to also include our information to the bottom right-hand portion of this podcast. If you'd like to get any more information reference global advanced logistics groups, our security solutions, and how we can continually help you in living and working in this wonderful, wonderful village that we call the world, make sure you give us a call or send us an email. As always, from your global advances logistics group staff here in the Middle East, South Africa, and South America, together with all our global tactical partners, stay low, move fast. Good evening.